Welcome back to Popcorn and Pals, the podcast where we talk about all sorts of movies, good and bad, and give you our completely unqualified takes on them. He's Zach, I'm Justin, and today we're talking about the 1990 mob classic that'll make you want to say, "Hey, how you doing?" It's Goodfellas. Zach, how are we doing?
Nice.
Yeah, I thought that was
How
fun.
you doing? How you doing?
I would love to know if there's a counter on how many times they say, "Hey, how you doing?" in this movie.
That or the F word.
Yeah.
I actually thought about for my synopsis to do like a synopsis where I said the F word like 30 times in my description. And I was like, no, you know what? We're not a PG podcast, right? We're not maybe PG, even PG-13 sometimes, but this movie's a hard R.
Yeah, it is. It is a hard R. But Zachary, how are you doing? How are things?
Yeah, things are good. I was telling you before we started, we're on like I feel like a little kid birthday pub crawl right now. We got one today, one tomorrow, 2 next week, and then 2 the week after that. So we have like 6 in like 3 weeks. So it'll be a lot of standing around watching little kids scream and wipe their boogers on you. So
As a seasoned parent, are there certain times of the year where birthday parties just seem to happen more frequently?
no.
Just sporadic, they're all throughout
Yeah,
the
I mean
year?
they're just, it's just kids having their birthdays every kids are born whenever, right? So
Mm,
I do feel like it's weird. I don't know how it is with other daycares, but like my son's class is like 50-50 boy girl. And I swear it's only the boys that are having the birthday parties.
Hmm.
And I don't know if it's because the girl birthday parties are like smaller knit with the close friends, like only 6 of them or something. And that's just the way they do it. And we're just not privy to that world because we have a boy.
yeah.
But I feel like all the boys ones are like invite the whole class and then
Mhm.
maybe 1 or 2 of the girls show up and like the same. It's funny. It's like the same set of parents show up every single time and like 1 or 2 of them kind of float in and out. But
That seems I could see that.
yeah,
Like,
because
yeah,
you
I
guys
don't know.
you guys aren't in a daycare yet, so you don't have like
Mm,
any of that. You get
mm.
invited to my kids' birthday parties. That's about it, right?
That's it, yeah.
Or your brother's birthdays or something, brother's kid's
Yeah.
birthday.
No, y'all are the only ones that invite
Yeah.
us to birthday parties. But
Once
I feel
once
like this year will change.
once little G gets into school, she'll
Mhm.
yeah, you'll live that world. It's just
Yeah.
screaming children and like you just hope the place has beer or something to get through it.
Yeah.
What
Well,
about you? What's going on in your life?
nothing. I feel like prepping for storms. We're like right in
Yeah.
that season of crazy weather here in Tennessee, so I feel like there's something rolling in tomorrow. They're saying possible bad
And I'm gonna
weather,
try to
but
mow my yard for the first time
I did
before
that
it rolls in.
today.
There you go.
Yeah, I know. I don't know. It's weird to be back in that time of the year, but
Yeah,
other than that,
I bought a new weed whacker today, or weed whipper, or weed eater, whatever you call it, depending on what part of the country you're in. I feel
yeah,
like I bought
weed
a new
eater.
one today. A
What'd you
weed,
get?
yeah. Well, and I got an electric one for the first time
Mhm.
because I don't know what it is. I'm just completely incapable of keeping a functioning gas weed eater.
That's
It's
fair.
like I don't store it correctly. I don't pour it out and like put stuff back in. That next season it's like I can't get it to idle. I can't get the work. So I'm like I gone through like probably in my adult life like 3 or 4 weed eaters, and I'm just like
Mhm.
I'm at my rope's end. I went electric. We'll see how it
Yeah,
goes. I
I
was
think
like,
I'm
the less mechanical stuff I have to deal with, the better.
yeah.
So
I think I've had an electric weed eater. I still use a gas push mower, but
same, yeah.
the electric weed eater, we don't have a big yard, so we just don't need, anything big, but it's been great. Like,
There you go.
I can weed eat my entire yard, off of one battery. One little Ryobi battery.
I
Not
think I'm
bad.
just like incapable of being,
Mhm.
a responsible adult to keep mine working. So, anyways,
Well, I don't know. We all have our faults, Zachary.
you know, um, do you want to get into the movie at all, or anything else you got
No,
going on?
no, let's keep talking about weed eaters.
hmm
Yes, let's talk about
I was
Goodfellas.
trying to think of a transition, and I'm like, well, like cutting grass is like, killing, I don't know,
Killing
a rat.
down
I don't,
killing
like,
down
I
killing
couldn't
down
think of anything.
people
I
after
couldn't think of anything clever, so I was like, well, you want to get into it? Let's get into it.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, let me hit what let's kick it off with your plot summary because I can't
Uh,
wait to hear what you've got for Goodfellas.
yeah, this is a tough one. I really had to think about this one, and I'm not even sure I came up with anything like meaningful, but whatever, you know. All
Mm.
right. Here we go. Goodfellas, synopsis. Like any parent's hope for their child, a young man grows up to find his passion, marries a good woman, and earns the respect of his colleagues. He joins a tight knit organization that values loyalty, tradition, and a strict code of conduct. The only problem? He works for the mob. Eventually, everything falls apart and he must become a dirty rat to survive.
The dirty rat part.
I
Yeah,
don't
that's
know.
pretty
I was like,
good.
I don't know. This movie follows like one dude's life. It's not doesn't have like kind of like, a really tight narrative, right? It's just like
Yeah.
stuff happens and he's in the mob. There you
Yeah,
go.
yeah. That was a really good plot summary. No offense. I feel like that felt like a pitch for if, like, the CW was making a mob show,
Sure, sure, sure.
but it
Well, I
was
felt
really good.
I'm like, I wish my kid was like at, 12 was like, this is the life I want to live. This is the career I want. It's like he finds a woman, gets married. Like he does like all the things. He's just like the biggest piece of shit about all of it.
Yeah. Yeah,
Ray Liotta's
yeah.
character, Henry Hill.
He is. He's
Yep.
a interesting choice for your main character in
It
this movie,
is, right?
but
It's a different world back in 1990, apparently.
mhm.
So
Mhm. Yeah.
so this is our first biopic, like a real biopic.
Yeah.
Do you watch a lot of biopics? Usually
Uh,
they drive me crazy, so
yeah, I mean, I feel like I've seen several,
mhm,
but I mean, yeah, looking up the notes and stuff on this movie, I know it's a true story. I think they call that out in the beginning of the movie. This is
mhm.
based on a true story. But I know it was a book, Wise Guys or something.
Yeah, Wise Guys, yeah,
I've never seen this movie before.
mhm.
I have never read the book before. I don't really know anything about it. So going in fresh, it was very interesting for sure.
Sure, sure. No, so yeah, let's get into the podcast then. So just real quick, we're gonna start, with the chat, compare some notes on the movie, do some superlatives, then we'll rate whether we think Goodfellas is a classic. Um, from a real synopsis perspective, this movie is, like I said, a biopic about a mobster, a wise guy, a good fella, named Henry Hill, played by Ray Liotta. He has two buddies, Robert De Niro's. Yeah, I didn't write down their last names, Jimmy and
Mm,
Joe Pesci's Tommy, right?
mhm.
Yeah, and the three of them are kind of like they're like they're mid tier in the organization. I think they have respect. But two of them aren't even full blooded Italians, so they can't even be like full members, but they have the respect, and it really just follows Henry's life as he's like being a piece of shit, doing mob
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah. He
He's
is a piece of
cheating on
shit,
his
isn't he?
wife, no, cheating on his wife, robbing people, extorting people, assassinating people, burning down things, arson. I mean, you name the crime, he's committed it.
Mhm.
And he goes to prison with several of the other members for a short stint. And there he gets into drug trafficking, which is I think where his life really changed because that's really against like the mob's like code. So he kind of
Mm,
does it in secret. And then when he gets pinched for dealing drugs, um, it basically everyone turns on him in the mob, and he kind of, in order to basically save him and his wife and his family's lives,
mm.
um, they become rats and they turn everyone in and inform, I don't know if it was the FBI or whatever, inform the FBI. Next thing you know, they're living probably like in Cincinnati, Ohio or something.
Yeah.
On a so yeah, but that's Goodfellas. Follows the life of a man who, does a bunch of crimes, and then when he's got nowhere else to go, he becomes an informant.
Yeah. I so watching this whole movie, one, I will say, like we talked about, never seen it before. I really enjoyed it. I liked it.
Good.
I thought it was a great movie. But the entire time that I was watching it, and I know this is going to be like the biggest duh moment, but all I could think about is Wolf of Wall Street the entire time. I feel like the parallels between these movies are so hard. I mean, like you're watching a guy
Mhm.
who climbs to like the I don't know about in Henry's case, but he climbs up really high, and then you
Yeah,
watch
yeah,
this
he's
tragic, tragic fall.
yeah.
Um, but, I mean, yeah, I love Wolf of Wall Street, so I feel like I immediately love this one. It starts
Alright.
off with, like, a bang, and you just kinda, like, get right into it, but, yeah, it was really good. I mean, I'm not a huge, like, Scorsese
Okay, I
aficionado.
was saying, I was like, first question, Scorsese? What are we saying here?
Yeah, I don't know.
I
I
think it's
try to
Scorsese. I'm going with
yeah.
Scorsese, yeah.
I'll
Martin.
go fake Italian Scorsese, but I I he's a great director. I don't have anything against him. I just don't I've never been one, to watch a lot of mob movies.
Mhm.
I've never,
I
it's
was gonna
just
ask you if you've
not
seen a lot of his first was, like, biopics. You're like,
mhm,
because I am not a music biopic guy. I find them kind of
mhm,
annoying, and
yeah,
because they're so cliché,
mhm,
where this is more of a unique story, I think,
yeah,
from a biopic perspective. But then I was gonna ask you,
mhm,
like, gangster movies, like, how do you feel about those?
yeah. I just feel like I haven't seen a lot of them. Like, in
Mhm.
terms of, like, older like, I guess I lump them in, like, Goodfellas, never seen it. Casino, never seen it. Godfather, 1, 2, 3, never seen it. I've just never sat down to really watch them. I've watched, certain gang movies, but I absolutely this is weird. I love mob documentaries,
Okay.
like Netflix or any of that type of stuff. So interesting to me. But anyway, all that to say, I really did. I really liked it. I thought it was a great movie. I mean, I was entertained from start to finish. There
Okay,
was not a
good.
single point in this movie where I was like, "Man, this is kind of," and it's a long movie. I mean, it's what
It
two and a
is
half
long.
hours long.
Yeah. Well, that's like any
Um,
Martin Scorsese movie. I feel like he has a minimum 2.5 hour requirement.
hmm
And
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
with you. I'm not the biggest fan of his. Like,
hmm
he's dark. His movies are always really dark, I feel like. And when he
they
tries to
are.
go, like, happy with, like, Hugo or more kid friendly, I don't even really like that movie. So it's like,
hmm
I do feel like he's kind of a bummer. Every time I've watched his movies, it's kind of a bummer. This
yeah,
is probably, like, one of the more fun of his movies. 'Cause I think, like, Departed is just it's a good movie, but man, is it a bummer.
yeah,
The, I've seen Casino. It's okay. It's
hmm
not this I think this movie's better.
yeah,
I'm trying to think. Like, I do like Wolf of Wall Street. I'm with you. I think that's probably his best movie, in my opinion. And maybe it's
yeah.
the most modern too, um,
Well, it's like
but it's also
it's
a bummer. It's a bummer movie. It's just fun. Like,
yeah, it kinda I don't know, I feel like there should be a genre about this, like, I know we've talked about Uncut Gems before with Adam Sandler
mhm.
and the Safdie brothers or one of the Safdie brothers, I can't remember which, I don't know which one is which, but where it's like your main character, 1 is a piece of shit,
Yeah.
keeps keeps doing bad things, so it's
Yeah, he's not a
hard
good
to
dude.
yeah, it's hard to root for him, and then it's like, well, you think you, like, learned your lesson, like, "Dude, Henry, you went to jail," like, but clearly you didn't learn your lesson,
Mm,
so it's I don't know, you just see this character keep failing, and
yeah.
there should
Uh,
be, like, a genre too
have you
to
ever
the
seen so
depression.
2 other movies of his that are kinda mob related. Have you ever seen, The Irishman, that Netflix
Oh,
movie?
I did, I watched that when it came out,
Yeah. That was
which
okay.
I
I'm the aging de-aging thing in that movie is really distracting because even when they're young, they're like, walking around and talking like a 70-year-old man. So it's
yeah,
like, it doesn't change the performance even if their face is a little more, rubbery or whatever.
mhm,
Um, and then have you ever seen Gangs of New York?
yes. I
Yeah.
really like Gangs of New York, which I feel like Gangs of New York is it is, it's still dark, there's still a lot of violence, but it's different
But
than
it's a
this, for
very
sure.
surreal world, I feel like.
Yeah,
It doesn't
yeah,
feel real. I don't know if it's if I don't even think it's trying to be real. It's, like, very
mhm.
stylized.
Yeah, it is.
I was trying to
Man,
think
I
of
love
any other
Gangs I forgot about
Scorsese
Gangs of New York.
movies. Have
I
you
have seen
seen Shutter Island?
The Departed. Yeah, yeah, Shutter Island's
Yeah,
great
that's
too.
good too.
I remember seeing that in theaters. I remember being blown away by the plot twist, like, "What?" But, yeah, like, Shutter Island's great. I mean, like, I feel like Scorsese, however you wanna say it,
Yeah.
um, I feel like he's a great director.
Mhm.
I've just never I've never just watched a lot of mob movies, but I
Sure.
do I like the mob world. It's
Mhm.
very interesting, organized crime and all the things. It's really, really cool.
Yeah, so I feel like
But yeah.
there's, like, 2 types of mob movies, where there's, like, a gangster movie, and it's like, you got
Mhm.
the pinstripes and the Tommy guns like, the Untouchables and, um
You think of, like, primetime, like, 1920s gangster.
yeah, there's, like, that one, and then there's, like, The Godfather, where it's, like, more mob, but it's like a family mob movie, you know
Mhm.
what I mean? Like, it's like, this one kinda follows that, where it's, like, the wives are involved and the family, and there's camaraderie, and you don't see it as much as in The Godfather. You've never seen The Godfather, so I won't spoil it because 'cause I'm sure we'll get to it on this show.
Mhm.
In fact, I think we were debating whether to do this first or The Godfather, and to me, The Godfather, we gotta be better at this before we tackle that movie because that movie is like that movie is a lot of I don't know. It's The Godfather's incredible. So,
Yeah.
not to spoil my opinions on it, it's easily a classic. I will consider it a classic when we rate this movie. Um, it's incredible, but what I find interesting about, like, this movie and Godfather, which I feel they are very close in a lot of the themes that they're following, and the way it's representing the mob is it's this
Mm.
very Italian family kind of or friendship or oriented mob opposed to like, robbing banks um and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
so I've told you this before, but like my family, my last name is not Italian, but my family is very Italian. It's from my mother's side, so my dad, I'm like he's the Irish side of the hills, of the Henry Hill, right? In
Yeah.
my family. So my family's very Italian. We got Duscianos, Lucettis, Lombardis, like Manestranis, like, those are, like, all our last names out there, and
Yeah.
I think even though they're mob movies, the Italian culture that they display in these is very familial to me and to my
Mm.
family, so we watch a lot of these movies when I was growing up because everyone's like yeah, they have a lot of opinions on how the pasta is being made, or how the sauce is being made, like and that
Yeah.
part is
Yeah.
very familiar to, a family that came from Italy,
Yeah.
um and so I do,
So
I there's, like, a connection to them that I do feel, not the mob part, but even
yeah.
the mob part a little bit, but
Well, I was gonna say, what like, growing up, like, if you have a very Italian family, what's their take on just mob life in general? Do they agree with
yeah,
it, disagree?
no, they talk about it all the time in my family, like so they came to I mean, I think if you go back anyway, you can find a lot of heritage going different directions, but I'd say, like, the not the legend of my family. What would you call, like, the
Your fa
canon of my family, right? Like, how my family talks about our
Yeah.
history, maybe not so much as, like, every angle at it, but the canon of my family, they came here in, like, 1910 from Italy, and, they weren't not we're from Nevada too, so, like, the mob was full force, where my family grew up, and we were not and I would say we were not involved in that world as young Americans coming to I don't think any of my relatives were, like, enforcers, but one of
Mhm.
my uncles, my great uncle died, and everyone's like, "Yeah, Black Hand took him out,"
Oh.
like he was shot, right? And so, like, they're like, "Yeah, Black Hand, he, made a bad deal or something like that." Yeah, we were more being the extorted Italians, not the
Yeah.
but
Not the
but,
ones
like
doing the
yeah,
extortion?
so, like, I think they don't see these movies as, like, an insult on Italian culture, and I think the fact that, like, Coppola is Italian, Scorsese is Italian, there's, like, an authenticness to these movies
Mhm.
that they bring from their experiences that my family, I think, also feels, which was, like, really fun growing up and, like, hearing them talk about it, and you see them interact, and they're like, "Hey, what are you doing?" That kinda things, and, like, that was my great-grandmother,
Yeah.
right? Making
Yeah.
meatballs in
Yeah.
the kitchen, making sauce, right?
Yeah. It
Constantina
is.
Fortuna Lucetti, that was her name.
It's very, I don't know, the way you talk about it, I feel like you make a good point, that he
Yeah.
highlights the familial aspects of it, 'cause,
Mhm.
and there's just something genuinely interesting about like the mob world. And I don't obviously can't speak for everybody, but I feel like when I watch these types of movies or these like types of shows, documentaries, I don't really look at them like, oh my God, this is awful. This is terrible, terrifying. These people are, monsters. I kind of watch it like, man, this is really entertaining. It's kind of cool, right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
so many people think that the mob world and like the mafia is kind of cool.
Yeah, not
Um,
to, like, step on, like, our favorite characters and best character, worst character, all this stuff, but Paulie, the mob boss in this movie, I'm like, "Yeah," I'm like,
mhm,
I mean, not a good guy, obviously, but I'm like,
yeah,
"Yeah, he's got loyalty, he's got, like" he seems like I'm like, "Ah, I get it." He's
yeah.
he's like
You,
he's kind in his own or he has his
he's,
own code.
yeah.
Mm.
You just stole one of my best character nominees, Polly.
Oh,
Polly was one
we'll
of
get
my
to that. I'm
favorites.
sorry, not to my bad, that's on me.
Jumping ahead. Hmm. So
Uh
your general take on it is you liked it, you hated it.
So, thanks, yeah. So, this is my second time seeing this movie. Again, I'm never like I feel like with Scorsese movies, I see them once and I'm like, "Okay, that was good," or whatever, but, like, there's always something kind of, like, uh, sharp to them, and that I just
Mm,
don't wanna go back to the world necessarily. So, this is only the
mm,
second time I've seen this movie. The first time I saw this movie, I hated it.
mm,
Hated it. I thought
interesting.
the narration was so distracting to me. And I
Yeah.
think because the movie is sold so much on Robert De Niro in, like, the posters and stuff, I was, like, expecting Robert De Niro to have, like, a really big part, and he
Yeah.
has a part, but he's really very much a secondary character in this movie, which is
Yeah.
interesting because he's definitely top billing across all the media and I think I'm like, "Why put that like, why is De Niro" I don't know, I came at this with, like, some prior expectations that I was
Mhm.
not a fan of. I really did not like the movie. I was like, "Ugh." I don't like like, Ray Liotta. I'm like, "Come on," like, the guy from Hubie Halloween? I'm like, "Get out of here," you know? And, but the second time watching it, having already, like, reset all my expectations, I did really I had a much better time with it this
Mm,
time. And,
yeah.
in fact, I would say it was even, like, really good. It was really great. I do like yeah, I thought it was really good.
Yeah. Yeah, you're exactly right. I feel like all the posters I thought Robert De Niro was the main character. I didn't
Mhm,
know I thought Ray Liotta was the side character and De
mhm.
Niro was because he's front and center. And, like, I never try to, like, research into movies before watching them, um, but, when I started looking into this one after I finished it, I think I saw in there that Scorsese got De Niro attached to the movie, and that's when the studio greenlit it. So,
Yeah.
it's like from the get-go and I know Scorsese and De Niro and Joe Pesci, they're
Yeah, I
all
think
probably best
they'd already
buds
done a
and
Scorsese and De Niro had already done a bunch of movies together, Raging Bull, Taxi Driver,
mhm,
like, so
yeah.
they were
But
buddies, obviously.
it felt like, once De Niro was attached to it in some capacity, then the movie got made. So maybe that's why, who knows? But yeah, very interesting, but I really we'll get into best character, worst character, but I really did enjoy, Jimmy, his character. I thought he was great. He was I
Yeah,
have a
he's
I
cold, man. He is cold.
I have I have a breakdown on Jimmy that we'll go
Okay,
through, but,
we'll get to
you
him
know,
too, yeah. I mean, I think we're
yeah.
gonna talk about all 3 of the leads. Are you a Pesci fan
Mhm.
at all? Have you, like, seen a lot of Pesci stuff?
He's I like Pesci.
Mhm.
he's fine. I always associate Joe Pesci as goofy because, like, I grew up watching Home Alone. Those were my favorite movies as a
No, yeah,
kid,
yeah.
so I always watched him in that, but I feel like this movie encapsulated everything that I don't like about Joe Pesci because he's so dislikable in this movie.
Yeah, he's a
Like,
piece of
like, he's just like the
he's tough.
yeah, he's the wise guy. He doesn't shut the fuck up, and you're like, "God, you're annoying, man." Like, you just
No, he's
constantly
annoying,
making
he's
everybody
a lunatic. Yeah.
yeah. He's a big problem in this movie, but
No, he is
I
wild
think
card.
but that's a testament to Joe Pesci and his acting because he's so believable that you really kind of dislike, Tommy, but, I mean, I don't know. I really like Robert De Niro. Joe Pesci's fine. I don't go out of my way to watch a Joe Pesci movie, if that makes any kind of sense. But I don't know. He's good.
Yeah. See, I love Joe Pesci. Like, I think he's, like, one of my
Mhm.
favorite actors of all time. Like, My Cousin Vinny is, like, one of my favorite movies. I love My Cousin Vinny. Have you ever seen it?
No, I have not.
Alright, let's
We
go on
should
the
add it to
list.
our I don't know
Yeah.
if it's on the list, but we need to add it.
Yeah, it's, I mean, Academy Award-winning movie too, so it's great.
Yeah.
Um, and then, yeah, I love Home Alone. Um, and then in this movie, he's in Casino too. He's also in some of the Lethal Weapon movies. Like, he's just always,
Mm.
like, a scene stealer when he's in the scene.
Yeah.
And, but yeah, in this movie, he is a lot. So
He's he's a piece of shit in this movie,
Oh,
but
dude,
it's really
just
good because he plays
he
his
won
role
the
so
yeah, he won the
well.
Academy Award for it, right? He got best
Yeah.
supporting actor, right? So,
Yeah.
only Oscar win for the movie, even though it was nominated for 6.
Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
I did think I thought that was kinda crazy 'cause I looked up what it was going up against for that year. I can't remember what won it, but I was kinda surprised to see that it didn't win really anything. I was shocked, not to give any spoilers here. I was shocked that, the girl that plays Karen, Lorraine Bracco, did not get Best Supporting Actress. I thought she
well,
was phenomenal in
she
this movie.
was nominated, right?
She was, yeah. She
Yeah.
was nominated for, and I don't remember who beat her, but
So, alright,
yeah,
I
I
got it
don't
pulled
know.
up here. So, movies this year, which is interesting. Dances with Wolves is what won.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Kevin.
Which I think that was, like, I don't know, I like Dances with Wolves, but I think that was, like, the Kevin Costner, like, Lifetime Achievement Award, right, for that
Mhm.
movie.
Yeah, that's fair.
Awakenings, which I've never seen. I've never even heard of
Never
it.
heard of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ghost.
Mm. Is that Patrick Swayze, right?
Yeah, yeah, I gotta
Yeah.
rewatch that movie because that does not seem like a Best Picture movie to me, but Whoopi
Mm.
Go that's the movie Whoopi Goldberg won her supporting actress role, and so she was up against Lorraine, Bracco, and Whoopi
Hmm.
Goldberg won for Ghost.
Hmm.
The Godfather 3, which I know you haven't seen The Godfathers yet, but
Mhm.
it is trash. I don't even how it was nominated. Like, Godfather 1, amazing. Godfather
Yeah.
2, for a lot of people, is better than Godfather 1. I think they're on par with each other. They're both
Mhm.
incredible.
Mhm.
Godfather 3 is it's not it's a I mean, it's not a train wreck. Sofia Coppola is in it. She's plays, like, Francis Ford Coppola's daughter, and she's the
I've
director,
seen
right?
yeah, yeah,
But she
yeah.
is awful in it, and I think it's just the fact that it was nominated is incredible to me, and then Goodfellas. So
Yeah.
I'm like, looking at that list, Ghost, I don't think is a legitimate contender.
Mm.
Awakenings, like I said, I don't know that movie, so I can't really critique it. Godfather 3 shouldn't even be up there. 1990 must have the worst movie year. I don't even understand.
Yes.
And
Yeah,
then
it was a light year.
Goodfellas and Dances with Wolves. So, like, it's a competitive year, but I
Mm.
think this movie could have easily won and on that list for sure, and probably would
Yeah.
have if it was, like, 5 years if they I've always said the Oscars should go back and, like, give a second award for, like, things that happened 5 years ago, where they, like, have more
Yeah.
time to digest it all.
Mhm. I think it I I feel like I can see why, Dance of the Wolves won because it's I feel like it's more of a universal movie, whereas Goodfellas is pretty violent, it's pretty dark.
Mhm.
I mean, Christ almighty, the first opening scene of the movie gives you everything you need to know, where they
I know, right?
right? Like, I mean, I was not expecting that opening scene, I was like, "Whoa," and but
Yeah.
it's a good little appetizer to to let you know what you're about to watch. Um, so that tracks why it didn't win Best Picture.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, I do. I think it'd be a really interesting exercise for every 5 like, every Oscars has 2, like, ceremonies, one for the current year and then one
Mm,
for the like, reevaluating 5 years ago,
yeah.
and they're gonna,
Yeah,
give it
that's a
yeah.
let's get you in
'Ca
front of the awards, pitch that idea, see if they bite. You can lead it. We'll do our podcast on it. We'll review 5 years later.
There you go.
Yeah.
We'll host the 2019 or 2021 I can't oh my god, my math is so bad. We'll host the 2021 Oscars this year.
Yeah. Speaking of, are you gonna do you ever watch the Academy Awards?
I don't know, man.
I don't.
It's so
I don't think I've
self-congratulatory.
Yeah, it is.
like, I enjoy learning who the winners are and whatever, but, like, I feel more so than ever, it's about the press tours, it's about the hype, like, it's like,
Mhm.
it doesn't evaluate, I don't know, like, it doesn't evaluate maybe the way that most people digest movies, I'll say, like, how most people see it and how the culture sees it. Just, like, it's further away from the culture than I think it's ever been, in my
It's a
opinion.
lot of it's a lot of politicking. I
Yeah.
have you not to get off on a tangent here, have you seen all the stuff with Timothy and his comments that he made about, like,
Like,
stage
wanting
and
to be the
ballet?
greatest person on the planet or whatever.
I get he I mean, he has said that. I think he said he
I
wants
think
to,
he's
like,
like,
be
"I
the
wanna be
greatest
like one
actor
of
or
the
whatever.
greats," or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
No, I don't
I mean,
follow it.
I don't know what his chances of winning Best Actor were. I have no idea. But, he made a comment on some show. I don't follow these things, I just see the news, but I
Mhm.
guess he made a comment about, uh, something about he doesn't like the ballet or he doesn't think they're true artists.
Oh, yeah,
Er,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
Right, right. I don't know what he said, so I can't say if I agree or disagree with it, but
No, let's
I
speculate with unqualified, that's our whole
yeah,
thing.
yeah, let's speculate on this. But what I do know is that he made a comment about it. Whatever that comment was, people didn't like it. And so now I keep seeing that all his chances of winning any kind of Oscar are now shot because he
Yeah.
made that comment. And I will say, like, it depends on what the comment was, right? Like, yes, maybe that does deserve some public backlash, but depending on what he said, like, does that negate the work that he put into that movie? Like, does it mean that he doesn't deserve to win an award for it? I just that seems kind of I don't know. I don't know about cancel culture and all the things, but it feels kind of
Yeah.
backwards. But anyway, I don't watch the Oscars. I feel like I haven't in, like, probably a decade. But I am
Mhm.
always curious to see, like, what wins Best Picture at least because it's always
Yeah.
interesting. I feel like we talked about that one this last year, the one before about the drug cartel boss who
Oh, Amelia
turns
Perez.
yeah, like, and
Yeah.
that was universally panned as, like, how was this nominated for Best
Mhm.
Picture and all the things.
Yeah, it was, like,
It's
on
in
its high trajectory and just that was one of the hardest crashes of any movie, I think, going through that
it's
process, but
interesting. I will be curious
yeah.
I'll be curious to
I do
see
listen to a
who wins it
podcast that
because
kinda covers it, it's called The Big Picture, it's part of the Ringer Network, and they get so into it, and at this time, they cover other things too during the year, like other movies. They do, some really fun, um, they'll do, like, drafts and things for movies. They'll pick, like, best, I don't know, gangster movies, and then they'll, like, have, like, a draft, and, like, then they go on social media and they vote on it and everything. It's kinda fun, but they really get into the
yeah.
Oscars, and, it's probably the time I listen to them the least because 'cause they're, like, really getting into the politicking of it and the circuit of it, and I'm like, "I don't
Mhm.
really care," so to me, it's so
Yeah, yeah.
self-congratulatory of an industry. Could you imagine if your company was like, "All right, we're gonna give an award show, and it's gonna be the most prestigious thing, and we're gonna give it to ourselves." Like, that's what they do.
Yeah.
You know?
I don't know, maybe we'll give ourselves an award for best podcast. I mean,
There you go. Exactly.
that sounds good.
Uh, so, anyways. Alright, you wanna get into the categories? Let's get kicked off.
Yeah, let's get the
Yeah.
ball rolling.
Alright. So, our categories: best scene, best character, age the best, age the worst, WTF are they talking about? Um, what would be a sequel? What might happen the next day? And hot takes and nitpicks. I was thinking about this too as like a fun category. You don't have to bring it out every
Mhm.
time, but um, would this make a good theme, this movie, for a bar? So where
Oh,
I lived in Ohio for several years, and in Cincinnati, they have a bar called the Overlook, which is themed after The Shining. And so it's got like Shining themed drink names. You feel like you're in like a kind of like a mountain lodge on the inside of it. And they always had the movie playing in there. I'd be like, would this be like a good theme for a bar? Like I think Goodfellas would make like a good bar theme. Like kind of a
yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you got God, you have so many cool drink names,
Oh, the
but
drinks could be all the names from the different people, like Jimmy Two Hands could be a drink, Frank the Wop could be a drink, Freddie No Nose,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
right? Like, those could be your
exactly.
drink names. Pete the
Yeah, no,
Killer,
it's
Billy
perfect.
Bats,
Yeah,
yeah,
I
those
think
could
the
be your
cool
drinks.
I mean, yeah, bar aesthetic because 'cause you've got I don't know, you've got so many different decades that are captured in this movie because
Mhm.
it goes from like the 50s to the 80s. I mean, you could you could pull some cool stuff off, but you could make it
Oh,
look like the
your wallpaper is that gold and black horrendous thing in their, like, cocaine
oh
house that
yeah,
they have? You have, like, a moving
yeah,
wall for the TVs? Moving
yeah.
rock wall?
That'd be pretty cool. That's a good yeah, I like it. Is
Yeah.
this would this
Would
make
this
a
make a
good
good
themed
bar? I
bar?
don't know, I felt
Yeah,
like the Goodfellas make a good bar.
yeah, I would agree.
Uh,
Yeah,
Good theme. Alright, best let's get into best scene.
best scene.
You
You
wanna
wanna kick
kick
it
it
off?
off with this with the scene?
Oh, jinx. Yeah. I'll start off with well, it's not like one particular scene, but really just like all of the scenes of Henry as a boy when he gets kind
Mhm.
of first initiated into, and then he starts slowly doing more jobs for him. And really because they were just lighthearted and kind of fun. It
Yeah.
wasn't dark yet, right? I mean, outside of the opening, you watching
It wasn't dark yet,
Billy.
I mean, they were just stabbing a bleeding to
Yeah.
death man in the back of a car, but yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, like, once you work past that one and you see him as a boy, getting involved, they're just fun. Like,
Yeah,
there's
you
some
kinda
funny
get
s
caught up in the romantic side
Yeah,
of the mafia.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly, and you kinda I don't watching it, I was like, "Yeah, I can understand why Henry got involved in this."
Mhm.
And but anyway, yeah, that whole collection of scenes where he was a boy, they're
I thought the scene
just
with the
fun.
mailman when he's like
Yeah.
they got the note from the school and, so he's like, "I gotta go back" Henry's like, "I gotta go back to school," and then they beat up the mail, I was like, "No mail gets to that house."
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it all culminates into that. It is yeah, they're fun. I mean, I really did. I enjoyed, watching how Henry got involved into it, and then he turns into Ray Liotta, your favorite actor. Or not, I
Yeah,
don't know.
he's okay.
He's no, Guy Pearce, let's just put it that way.
I will
Hmm,
say, like, Ray Liotta I don't know, we'll get to characters, we don't have to get into too much. No, I do think that the beginning of that movie is fun, right? You do fall kind of
no.
you fall for the romance of the mafia, right? The romantic kind of ideal of it, right? And
Mhm,
then reality starts to set in as the movie goes further along. It is
mhm.
interesting, like, talking about scenes in this movie because there there's really because you're covering his whole life, and I think you're meant to feel like you're being pushed along with him, and it's just kind of this chaotic life that he's leading. The scenes are all really short, and they move very fast through them.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. I mean,
so
we
it is
work
hard to
through
pick like one scene, right? When they're more like collections of smaller scenes.
yeah, we work through, like, what, 30 years, I think, of his life
Hmm.
or more, I can't remember, but I'm pretty sure it starts in the '50s, so,
Yeah, it goes to the 50s. I think
uh
that by early 80s is when it ends.
yeah. So,
The
yeah, it is. It jumps around, I mean, like, quite a bit, but
I had the first time they're in prison, and they're all making, like,
oh, yeah.
they're all, like, making spaghetti, and they have, like, this cushy prison situation. I thought that was, like, a
Yeah,
fun scene.
it was really
It's
fun.
like,
I
yeah,
had that
just
down on mine too.
having fun with the boys, in prison.
Yeah, because they set it up like, they all get in trouble, and he's like, "I'm getting ready to go off to prison, all things." I expected them to just go into regular, like, prison scenes where people are getting shanked and
Mhm.
whatever, and it's them, and he's like, "We pretty much had the run of the joint," and they're making pasta, and Paulie is cutting the famous I feel like even I've heard of this before watching it, the famous razor blade garlic slice scene from Paulie.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, it was really fun. I really enjoyed the making dinner in prison.
What's your next one? Got any more candidates for you?
Yeah, the funny house scene with, uh, Tommy and Henry, where it's kinda towards the beginning, but Tommy, Joe Pesci, he's telling their group, like, a story about something, and they all start laughing, and then Henry is like, "Oh, you're
Oh, yeah,
funny."
yeah, 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 yeah. Funny how?
And he's like,
No, you
"Funny
tell me.
how?"
What the fuck
And
am I doing? Why the fuck do you think I'm such a what am I funny, you know?
Yeah, the whole time, like, watching that, I was like, "Oh god, Tommy, he's gonna be a problem," like, you could tell early
Oh,
on, but,
dude, lose.
I mean, that whole scene is really good because, alright, 1, it starts off so lighthearted, right? He's telling a story, and they're all cracking up, and you're like, "Oh, man, they're having
Mhm.
fun," and then it gets so serious out of nowhere, and it builds I think the one thing that I'll give Scorsese more marks on than anything is I feel like he does a great job at building tension in
Mhm.
so many of his scenes to where it's like you just don't know which way it's going to go, but you're kind of like on the edge of your seat. And this was, I feel like, the first one in the movie that really did it for me because
Mhm.
you're like, what the fuck? Like, he didn't mean anything by it. What do you mean you're like upset? And
It's you said the most innocuous thing
yeah,
that you would say to anyone, right? And, like, you're like, "Well, this guy can't even handle that." And then you realize he is
yeah,
kinda joking, but you still, like, maybe he's not. Like, even if he kinda comes back around, he's like, "Ah, I gotcha." But I'm like, "Did you?"
yeah,
Because then you're, like, about to kill the guy in the Hawaiian shirt behind you too. Like, I don't know where where you
yeah.
actually land, Joe Pesci, Tommy.
Yeah, yeah, I feel like that gives a really good early glimpse into Tommy's character and just
Mhm.
how unhinged he is. Because 'cause you're right, he does, he's like, "Ah, I almost had him, I almost had him," like he's joking around, but you get the sense of like, "I don't know how much you were joking, I think you probably, like, really serious."
Yeah.
But yeah, that one, I really liked it because it's kinda your first experience just having that tension and, like, that awkwardness of like, "Oh god, what's gonna happen? I don't even know."
Mhm. I had the, killing Billy Bats scene where in the
Oh,
bar
that
where
that old teddy bear scene?
no, but I like the scene, like, leading up to it where he's like, when he's talking to Tommy and he's like, "Oh, hey, Mel, how the hell have you been?" Again, something pretty innocuous. And then he, says like,
Mhm.
"Ah, you were a little kid." And Tommy just can't take any type of something that would question, his manhood or his intensity or whatever. And then, and
Mhm.
so there's like a pretty intense exchange again, like that classic Joe Pesci intense exchange. And then they yeah, they come back, kill him. And he's like and you learn about like what a made man is and like why
Mhm.
like why this is such a big deal what they're doing. And to me, I think it's at this point in the movie where a conflict is created that you don't feel like Henry can get out of.
Yeah.
Or at least the character Henry, Jimmy, and Tommy can get out of. Like this is okay, this is gonna be important. This is gonna drive further stuff further along in the chain of, the movie. Where like I
Yeah.
feel the stuff before this is just setting up character, establishing roles, like, getting married, bringing in wives, all that kind of stuff, setting up the world. And this is the first point in the movie where conflict kind of starts really like, okay, well, this is going to
Yeah.
go somewhere in this movie.
It's kinda like a seed gets planted because it
Mhm.
doesn't you don't feel it right away. Like, you almost think they, kinda get away with it. Paulie, he asks some questions, and he's like, "Ah, did you hear what happened about this?" And
Mhm.
and then a couple months later, they have to go digging back up because there's
Yeah,
development
that was a good
being
scene too.
built. But
It's like,
yeah,
are
I
you
mean, like,
kissing? Are you serious? And you're like, oh, he's throwing up.
it
Oh, Ray
feels it
Liotta.
feels like, it comes to roost, obviously, later on in the movie, but yeah, you're exactly right, it does. It's like a turning point that kinda gives some forward momentum to a centralized problem, and but it's kinda lingering back there like, Is it gonna come back and catch him?" And yeah, it's a really good scene. I mean, I think, like, that's probably why he chose to start the movie off with it because it's so it's like, that is the mob. You killed a guy, now you gotta go bury him in the middle of nowhere.
No, it's a great cold open to the movie, I think. It really
Mhm.
does, like, I guess, yeah, establish the world that they live in.
Yeah. Yeah,
How about you? Got
agreed.
any more scenes you wanna throw out as nominees?
No, no, I think those are my favorites. I mean, there's so many good scenes, but I don't know, some of them are so fleeting or quick or, those are the ones that really stuck out to me, I think.
Mhm. I thought um, the scene at the end when Jimmy is, giving some money to Karen, and he's like,
Oh,
"Go around the
yeah.
corner, go around the corner, there's some dresses in there for you, go around the corner." And I'm like,
Yeah.
God, Jimmy is cold. He just doesn't care. Like, and when it comes down to him or anybody else, it's like no friend is no. No one is loyal enough to him.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah,
thought
I
I was
agree.
like, because like to me, like Jimmy as an antagonist to the movie really picks up because he doesn't have a whole lot to do in the first 2/3 of the movie. Kind of comes in and steals the scenes a little bit when he's in them. But once they have that really big robbery and he starts killing all his accomplice and he gets more and more
Mhm.
paranoid. and and then the drug stuff kind of they figure out, he gets Henry Hill gets arrested, and all that other exposure starts to happen that's putting Jimmy's life or livelihood at stake.
Yeah.
He is cold, man. He does
Yeah.
not care.
Yeah. Yes, he is cold. We will talk about Jimmy because like I said, I've got him pinned down under
And I think
multiple
the only other
categories.
scene that I had, while I don't know if it's the best scene, but kind of that last day when Henry is just on his coke-filled paranoid trip through Los
Yeah.
Angeles, and he's kinda manic, like, "I gotta do this, I gotta do that, I gotta do this," and you feel like I feel like I was in a coke paranoid and, like, I was, like, in his head, you feel like you're
Mm,
part of it, and it just the way that Scorsese shot it and pushes you through that narrative and the quickness of the scenes and kind of the manicness of the behavior, and,
mm.
I just thought that to me was, like, really well shot and really well made and just intense.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah,
it kinda ends with,
and
"There's a gun." He's like, "Hey, you're arrested."
yeah, you're right, he does. He takes you into Henry's mind about him just
Mhm.
kinda tripping out a little bit because he starts talking about he's talking about all the things that he has to get done today, and he keeps talking about the pasta sauce and how important it is for his brother to stir the pasta sauce, and you sit there at first, you're kinda like, "Why the fuck does this matter to the plot line?" But then you're like, "If he's coked out of his mind, yeah, he's probably really worried about that pasta sauce," and
You
it makes
see, like
total
I think in
yeah.
his mind, like, he's so into the mob and so into the crimes and the drug trafficking and the whatever, right? Dealing guns, whatever, like,
Mm.
it's all so routine to him that it's just as important as getting that pasta sauce right.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, like, they're of equal, like, importance in his mind, which is just yeah, I think it does. It shows you
Mm.
how insane he has become and how
Yeah.
insane Karen has become. Karen's lost it in that scene. Like,
Yeah, she has.
she's just as, like, "Girl, that poor girl went down a dark path."
Yeah, she did. Yeah, when they were
I
both, like, crying on the ground after he found out she flushed his Coke down the toilet. Isn't that
I feel like like, the mob was almost like a cult, and, like, her getting married and brought in by Henry was like a cult leader taking in a new recruit,
mm,
like, he just brainwashes her, and she tries to break out of that cult a few times, the cult of the mob, whether she's, pointing a gun, but she, like, can't even like, she's so brainwashed at this point and so ingrained into that life. 'Cause she talks about, like, how they have no all their friends are in the mob. They hang out with people in the mob. If we're going somewhere, it's with the same people every time. My world is cut off from the rest of the world. And, like,
yeah.
I'm like, "This sounds like a cult," and she just
Yeah,
can't
yeah,
get
yeah.
out of it.
Mm-mm. Yeah.
But yeah, I thought that drug paranoid scene at the end was good. I thought it was really, really well made, very competently made, like,
Mhm.
made you really feel like you were with Henry in this, like, just manic state that he was in,
Yeah.
paranoid manic
They made
state.
him look like they made him look like hell too. He
Yeah,
looked like their
he looked
makeup
rough.
department, he looked terrible. I thought it was really funny that when he picked his brother up from the doctor was like, "No, no, no, I need to we need to, like, check you out." It's really good.
Yeah. Yeah, so I don't know, what do you have for your verdict as best scene?
God, I don't know. I mean, I guess I'd just stick with all of the scenes with Henry as a boy, just because 'cause
Okay.
they're so fun. I'll
Yeah, it's a fun way to open the movie.
I'll plant my flag there
I
before it
think
gets too dark.
yeah, I don't know. I think just the last little bit that we were just talking about, the paranoid scene, I think it's very unique in the movie.
Mm,
Really, really felt like it was really well made. Maybe not the best, most fun scene, but I think like some of the most well made part of the movie, for sure.
mhm. Yeah,
All right, let's talk characters. Best
yeah.
character.
Best character. Well, we already kinda talked briefly on it. I really like Polly.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna get too in depth on it, but I feel like when I think about mob bosses, I think about ruthless
Hmm.
criminals who are cold-blooded. Paulie was kind of the furthest thing from that. I mean, yes, he was a bad guy and he
Yeah, fully willing to
extorted
murder someone, but yeah.
yeah,
But
right. But, like, when it came down to his crew, like, he always in just about every scene, he really had their backs from
mhm.
I don't even remember that dude in the beginning. I don't know if he had a name, but the guy who tried to warn him about Tommy, about like, "Oh, Tommy's a wild cannon, man. You might wanna take care of him now." But, like, he hears him out,
Oh, the
takes his
restaurant owner?
yeah, yeah, yeah. He
Yeah,
goes
yeah, yeah.
in, he partners with that dude on buying the restaurant.
I did
He
love that. I did love that scene. He was like, "Alright, I'm gonna buy your restaurant. I'll go in with you." And then they just basically tank the restaurant,
yeah,
suck all the money out of it as much as possible, and then light it on fire.
and get the
I'm like
insurance money.
I'm like, "Alright.
Yeah. But,
So
I mean
that's a strategy."
yeah, but, like, I guess, going back to, like, the whole family aspect of the mob, I feel like Paulie is he was who I would imagine at the head of a tight-knit family,
Yeah.
right? Like, somebody who cares about his people, and, I mean, he does, even at the end when Henry does all
Betrays
of
him
his
or whatever.
bullshit. Yeah, he Paulie still gives him money as, like, "Here, take this, but get the fuck out."
Yeah.
And I mean, I really enjoyed watching Paulie. He didn't have a whole lot of scenes, but I thought he was good for what he
Yeah,
was.
I feel like the best mob bosses in movies have that element you're talking about where they're not cold, ruthless, like, evil. They're wrong, they're bad, they're
Mhm,
totally but, like, there is, like, a fatherly element to them. Like, the Godfather movies have it, The Sopranos has it, I think Paulie in this movie to a lesser extent just because he's not as big of a character as those other movies. Like, those
mhm.
movies, like, they have that kind of more fatherly figure who's also a complete psychopath.
Yeah,
But, yeah, I agree.
yeah. Who's on
Do
your
you
list?
want the I would put up Joe Pesci's mom. The li
Yeah, she's really funny. I really like that scene with her
I thought
painting.
she was great. I
Yeah.
was like that's actually Martin Scorsese's real mom.
Oh, I didn't know that.
That's his
She's
mom in the
funny.
movie, yeah, but she's so
Yeah.
fun, like, when she's talking about her little painting that she's done, and they're like, "Isn't that great?" And then the guy's dead in the back of the car, or
Hmm.
not dead yet, but, I just
Yeah,
thought it was great. I loved her
yeah.
little scenes. She had, like,
That
2
whole
scenes
scene
and
was good.
yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah,
To
okay, so you're going with Tommy's mom is on
I
your
love
on your
Tommy Wiseau. I
best
thought she
pick.
was great.
Yeah,
She stole the scene. When she was in it, I was
yeah,
like, "Ah, she's wonderful."
yeah.
Um, no, okay, let's get to the main characters, right? I think we need to let's talk about Ray
Mm.
Liotta first. So let's talk about Henry Hill.
Oh, is he on your best characters list?
I don't know, I'm throwing him out there as a candidate. I'm not saying he's on my list or not. Throwing him out there as a
Oh,
candidate.
okay, okay, yeah. Uh,
I can tell you
I don't
what's
know.
not
I
on
mean,
the
like,
what's I can tell you what's not on the best characters list is his laugh. So, but
I actually I was this close from putting that under H the worst.
I
His
I
laugh.
have it under age the worst. His I'm like, age the worst. Ray Liotta has a horrible laugh.
Yeah.
And
I mean, I surely they had him hype it up for
yeah,
just, like, the goofiness of this movie, but it is so distracting at
it
those
is.
scenes when he laughs, man. It is ooh, I don't know. But yeah, right? I don't know. I Henry is such an interesting character because you see the majority of the movie through his lens, right? Because he's narrating it. I do think it was very interesting that we do get parts that are narrated by Karen.
Mhm.
Um, I just thought that was really interesting because you would I don't know, switching your kind of main character focus and getting in the thoughts of your characters, but, yeah, he's just I don't know, it's kinda like we talked about at the beginning, trying to get on his team is tough at
Yeah.
times. It's kind of fun in the beginning, like, when he gets involved because he's making a name for himself. When he and Karen, kind of have their whole romance, it's really fun. But when he starts cheating on Karen, when he starts doing stuff, going against Polly and like the gang's ambitions, and
That
I don't know,
code.
when he starts
Yeah.
going downhill, it's really tough to root for him. And not saying that he's a terrible character, but
Yeah, and I think
yeah,
Ray Liotta's probably he's like an okay actor, right? I think he's okay.
yeah.
Um, what about De
He's
Niro? What about Jimmy?
oh god, I fucking love Jimmy. Oh, okay. So the caveat with Jimmy, right? So because I have Jimmy is split on best. best and worst characters based
Mhm.
on, I guess, the the timestamps of Jimmy's character throughout the movie. So the first, like, 2/3 of the movie, he's under my best characters. I loved Jimmy because Jimmy, 1, okay, he is where Tommy is, like, wild chaos, Jimmy is calm chaos.
Mhm.
From the moment that you first get introduced to Jimmy's character is when, Henry's a kid and he sees him walk in and he's like, "Oh, man," like, Jimmy was only, like, 29, but he's already a legend, and he's
Yeah.
handing out money to everybody. Everybody knows him, everybody loves him, and he's not really doing anything super terrible. I think at that point, early on, they said Jimmy was just he just liked to rob people and,
Yeah,
like,
he just
steal
loves
things.
stealing,
Yeah,
which I'm
so
like, that was
he's
an interesting angle for a mob. I just don't picture the mob just being petty thieves,
yeah.
thieves, right?
Yeah,
Like,
but
they're just
he just
robbing trucks,
yeah, but, like, at
s
that point, like, I don't know, he wasn't, like, a crazy whatever, but, obviously, Jimmy goes off the deep end, but in the beginning, or, like, the first 2/3 of the movie or whatever it is, I mean, he's even there with Polly trying to get Henry cleaned up, and he tells him, like, "You gotta stop cheating on your wife, like, you gotta go back to Karen, you gotta make things right?" I mean,
I
he's looking
do
out for him.
I guess, but at the same time, they're like, "You're making our lives harder." That's why
They
we're
are.
telling you this. Like, they're not
Yeah,
like,
he's
"Oh, it's the right thing to do, man. If you have a woman, you should treat her right." They're like, "No, you have a woman, and look, get her in line. She's
yeah.
making our lives harder. She's coming over to my house,
Mhm.
go back to her,
Yeah.
get it
I mean,
together."
it's not all, totally
No,
altruistic, but
no.
as opposed to saying like, "Yeah, Henry's a liability. Let's just whack him, like get him out of
Yeah.
here." Like they try to pull him out, but I don't know. Throughout, like you said, he steals scenes. I feel like when he's in them, he's just really enjoyable to watch, in my opinion. Um, but that's under best character. worst, worst character. After Jimmy, not to jump ahead here, but after
Yeah,
he
yeah,
pulls off they pull off the Lufthansa heist, and he just goes full psychopath. I mean,
yeah.
he
He
starts
does.
murdering everybody, and not like the other thing too, not in, like, clean ways. He hung that one dude from a meat hook in a
Yeah,
freezer. I mean,
I'm like, I almost wanted to look up if that was real, because 'cause
yeah,
I'm like, "Are you trying to send a message? Because
yeah. I
no one's trying to get no one's trying to get at you, like, or maybe they were, I don't know, but
I mean,
it's an
somewhat,
odd
yeah,
thing."
yeah. Like, he really he kinda goes off the deep end, and he becomes a total cold-blooded psychopath,
Yeah.
who's just murdering everybody. 'Cause
Mhm.
I don't remember if they say explicitly, I think Henry says just because he didn't wanna pay them their cuts or something. Maybe it was that mixed with, like, he didn't want any loose ends, but to murder literally everybody involved was, and like you said, that towards the end, he tries to have Karen walk in that one store, and, I mean, it's like, what did Karen didn't do anything. Karen is just, like, trying to survive.
Yeah.
He's, but Jimmy makes both lists, best character and worst character for me.
Yeah, definitely from, like, a narrative perspective, he is a villain at the
Yeah.
end of the movie, but, I
Mhm.
mean, obviously, De Niro just kills it, though. He kills the role, like,
Yeah.
there's the scene when he's kind of at the bar after the heist, and, people are coming in, and they're already spending their money, and he's realizing, like, something's breaking in his head at that point where he's like, I'm gonna kill all these people, and you just see him, and he's, like,
Mhm.
staring at someone at the bar, and there's a lot of great needle drops in this movie where music comes in, and he's just like I'm like, "Wow, that guy is gonna kill everybody." He's
Yeah.
cold, man.
Yeah. He
He
is.
is ice, that guy, ugh, and,
Like, yeah. For so much of the movie, I really thought, like, nobody is as unhinged as Tommy is, and then
mhm.
you start seeing Jimmy get involved more with the violence and the killing, and I'm like, by the end of it, I didn't know who was worse, Tommy or Jimmy. I thought they were both
No,
kinda
like,
neck and
yeah,
neck.
the you feel like you could reason with Tommy, which is, like, the most scary part about him. You feel like you could?
That's a
Not Tommy,
crazy
excuse
thing
me.
to
I feel like I mean, Jimmy, you feel like you could reason with Jimmy, and
Okay,
that's what's
yeah,
so terrifying about him is there's no reasoning. He's just sizing you up. Where
yeah,
Tommy's like, you have no idea. That guy's just You have no idea what he's gonna
Yeah.
do.
You make
Anyone
one
else you
comment
wanna,
and
put up for best character? Karen or
yeah, I really like Karen. I mean, Karen, I don't know. Like you said, Karen, I think you hit the nail on the head. She just kind of gets ingrained in like this cult like thing. But I mean, Karen sticks with Henry through all of his bullshit. She's
Mhm.
essentially like a single mom. She raises his two kids pretty much
Yeah.
by herself. Um, she does
Cocaine-fueled single mom, yeah.
yeah. I mean, when he goes to jail, she smuggled drugs in so that they could have a type of income while he was in
That scene I thought
prison.
was great too. She's just mad she sees the mistress on the call, and she's
She
just
go
middle of the room, starts taking out all the contraband. I do like how
yeah,
the cops are like or the wardens or jail guards are like, "Whatever," you know?
yeah,
"We already have a drug thing going on, just be a little more
yeah,
chill."
yeah. I mean,
What a
she really
world
was. She
they
was
live in.
she was loyal to Henry to a fault, but I thought the actress that played her was phenomenal. I thought she was
Okay.
great. Um I don't know, from, like, having, like, freak out panic episodes, the scene where she's pointing a gun at Henry, like, that whole scene was really intense, I was kind of surprised. I mean, I know she was in things after this movie, the actress, I feel bad, Lorraine Bracco.
Yeah,
I
Lorraine
was
Bracco.
kinda surprised after watching this movie that she didn't get more, like, high profile movies
Mhm.
because I thought she was really, really good, uh but yeah, anyway, I really like Karen. I thought Karen was great too.
I do think she's probably the one character who maybe if you throw Pesci in there, but the way Pesci pulls it off, it's so much more, I don't know, true to the character or whatever, but I do feel like she's probably the one that goes a couple times, like, really hard in the movie, a little too much overacting, maybe a little bit occasionally here and there,
Mm,
but, yeah, I thought she was really good too. She is, I think, after this movie, most famous for being she has a long-running role in The Sopranos as
I've
Tony
never seen
Soprano's therapist, and she was nominated for several Emmys for that role. So she's
Hmm,
like a main character in The
The
Sopranos. I don't
Sopranos.
know if main character is the right word, but she's like, um, a staple of The Sopranos.
Mhm.
Um, but other than that, that's the only couple things I've ever seen her in.
Yeah,
Yeah. But again, she was nominated for 3 Emmys for that role, so she does have some other accolades, I think, to her name. But yeah, to your
yeah,
point, she never really makes it in movies again, kind of as a big leading woman role.
yeah.
All right, any verdict or anyone else you wanna nominate before we get to worst characters?
Nah.
Okay. Any winner for you?
Um, I don't know. I I guess Jimmy for my
Okay,
best
there you go.
for my best. Jimmy
I'm
might
still
win both for me.
I'm sticking with Joe Pesci's mom.
Yeah.
I thought
Solid
she's a little
solid pick.
Italian lady. She reminds me of my great-grandmother too, so much. So it's
Yeah.
like, that was exactly right. White hair, like, had it curled and then, like, had to wear things in, like, shower caps and everything for, like, a week and a half so that she didn't have to get it redone, you know?
Yeah.
That just reminded me of her so much.
I think
Yeah, I'm going with Joe Pesci's mom as best character in the
it's
movie.
a solid pick. Pretty good.
Alright, worst character. I think we have to caveat this because I actually don't think there's any bad performances in this movie.
No, no, no,
So I
not
think
from
this
a
is
yeah. I
yeah, I
wouldn't
think this
label
has to
it
be, like, most evil character or, like, ones you hated the most or something like that.
yeah.
Because the
Yeah,
movie's
yeah, yeah.
acting is very strong.
Yeah. I think yeah, no, I completely agree. This is purely based off of, like, who did you hate the most from, like, a pure like, this character is he's a problem, which, Tommy, I'm talking about Tommy. Tommy is but Joe Pesci, I mean, he probably gets best character for just,
I
how he acted it, but
yeah, like, it's actually incredible because Tommy is a psychopath, he's a loose
mm,
cannon. Joe Pesci just crushes it in every scene that he's in, and the fact that I did not hate him more is a testament of how charming Joe Pesci is.
mm,
Because I think, like, other characters that are so awful, like, I don't know, the Joffrey from Game of Thrones, like, you hated
yeah.
Joffrey, hated him. I didn't hate Joe
Mm.
Pesci's character. I was like, "Dude, like, just keep it together, right?" Like, I was, like, I'm like, "I wanna help you." Like, I didn't wanna hate you. I'm like, wanted to help you.
So you wanted him to keep it together when he killed Spider, the
No, I
poor
think
kid.
that's where he just is completely unredeemable, is after the
Like,
spider incident.
okay, I think I might be able to let Billy Billy's tough because he does murder Billy, but Billy also antagonized him,
No,
and
Billy had a mouth, you know?
and Jimmy even tells him, he's like, like, after he first talks to him and then Tommy leaves, Jimmy calls him out, he's like, "I mean, you did say stuff to him, like, you kinda caused this," but like, Spider, that one was the kid just didn't understand, or he had a whatever miscommunication. They shoots him in the foot, and then he tells him to go fuck himself or whatever, and then he kills him. Like, this is a kid working in the bar. He's probably just like a low-level
No,
gangster, and you just murdered him
he's
for
literally he's Henry Hill at the beginning of the movie. Like, that's
Yeah,
what that
yeah,
kid
yeah.
is, you
Yeah,
know? Like,
he's
he's
just
just working his way up, he's trying, you know, like
Tommy is a major problem in
No,
this movie. Through
he
and he is a growing I did like, looking back on it, that whole first scene with the dude with the restaurant when he approaches Polly, and he's trying to warn Polly about how much of a problem Tommy is,
Mhm,
and they're just like, "I mean, what are we gonna do, right? Tommy's Tommy, whatever." It's also it's like this big foreshadowing of just what is gonna happen because, all of their problems essentially stem from Tommy and what he
mhm.
does and his stupidity because he can't keep it under control. He keeps killing people.
No, he's l l the definition of a loose cannon, right? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, this is, I guess,
He's the best.
technically.
I think he's the best worst character,
Oh,
right?
yeah, for
Like,
sure.
yeah.
Yeah. I like Jimmy has his own thing, but Tommy is a consistent throughout the entirety of the movie. From
Mhm.
start to finish, he is awful.
Yeah.
Um, I did think because I guess this would fall more under Jimmy, but when he kills Stax, which also coincidentally, Stax is probably the quickest, shortest role I've ever seen Samuel L. Jackson in, ever. Um,
That was Samuel L. Jackson?
yes, I had to look it up because I was like, that kind of looks like
I
him.
did not even notice that.
That was him.
That's wild.
But he kills Stax, which I like that. One, I felt bad, but then,
Yeah.
the more that you get into you find out that Jimmy is murdering everybody involved in the heist. It's
Yeah.
like, "Oh, okay. So Jimmy probably told Tommy to go kill Stax, but he just kills so many people, man. He is he's just a big problem, the whole movie. But in the best way, like, he plays it so well that, yeah, throughout the entirety of the movie, I was like, "God, Joe Pesci, dude, I really dislike you in this movie, but it's because you play it so well."
Yeah, yeah, man. I'm just shook that was Samuel L. Jackson. I did not even notice that. And I just, like, pulled it up. I'm like, "Yep, that is Samuel L. Jackson." Wow.
They only had I mean, so they talk about Henry talks about Stacks, like, I think when they first start talking about the heist and they're planning the heist,
Mhm.
and, like, Stacks walks into the bar, and you just get
Yeah,
a brief glimpse, and, like, I don't even at that point, I was like, I didn't even see that it was Samuel L. Jackson, I didn't make that connection, but when they wake him up, and they go and kill him, and he talks, like, I think he has probably 2 lines or something, like, it's a tiny, tiny role.
yeah. No, that's it, yeah, wow. I had up for worst character. Imma throw
Mm,
out a nominee. Every
okay.
single one of those mob wives in that wife scene.
Yeah, they're pretty terrible.
Karen was,
Yeah.
like, narrating my exact thoughts as she was saying it. I'm like, "Oh my god, this is the worst group of people I've ever seen in my entire life."
Yeah,
I
they
will
were
say, I've
really
talked a lot
bad.
about my Italian heritage. That I was not familiar to me. That's not how my family talked.
That's not how they do
No,
it?
no, that's not how I remember it being.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, I didn't even think about it, but yeah, you're
Yeah,
exactly
I
right.
it was like every one of those mob wives. That's just the worst. Alright, I think we have to winner, right? I think it's Jimmy, or not Jimmy,
Yeah,
excuse me, God, they're all in Jimmy, Tommy, Petey.
I know, yeah,
Um, it's, Tommy, but he's, like, the best
Tommy.
worst character.
Yes, I
Yep.
agree.
Alright. So let's get to age the best, age the worst. So what do you got under
Alright.
age the best?
Um, I got a few things, small things. I
Mhm.
really like the soundtrack. And I
Yep.
know it's different. I feel like you either like it or you don't, but
No, that's great.
I really liked it because I feel like they played decade appropriate music, so it kinda gave, like, life to each points of Henry's life, right?
Yeah, and the
Um,
needle drops were really good, like, how they hit, when they hit, it was, like,
mm.
very appropriate.
I really so you touched on the scene with Tommy's mom. There's subtle humor peppered throughout this movie
Mhm.
that's just really funny, that kinda gives you the giggles. It's not a laugh out loud movie, and it's
No.
not meant to be, but there's some that it's like they're just too on the nose, like they have to be intentional that he was trying to have a laugh.
Yeah, I think so.
Like with Tommy's mom, and she shows the boys her painting, and Tommy's like, "Yeah, I really like how this dog looks this way and this one looks the other way," and, like, it's just it's
So,
so dumb, but
what make I think what makes all those scenes so believable, so it was a really interesting, strategy for writing those scenes that they implemented. So they let there's a lot of, and you can feel it in the movie, a lot of ad-libbing in the
Mm,
movie.
mm,
But the way they ad-libbed it wasn't like I don't know, a Judd Apatow movie where they just film 150 of the same scene and everyone's just like, I don't know, making jokes about Kelly Clarkson or something like that, right?
no.
Like, it's they did table reads, or they would do like a why am I drawing a blank? When you practice a scene before you actually do it.
Rehearsal.
Rehearsal, god, yeah, come on, Zach. Okay, uh
It's been a long
But
day.
yeah, so I don't know. I went to a kid's birthday party today. So, um, and anyways, so at rehearsals, that's where they would do all the ad libbing, and then they would record everything, and
Mm,
then he would take the things that he liked the best from those ad libs, write it all out, and then they stuck to the script when they filmed. So I
gotcha.
thought it was like a
Yeah,
really interesting way of getting ad lib is like you're basically
yeah.
taking all the best pieces of it,
Mhm.
but then only committing it to film one time,
Yeah,
which I
yeah,
thought was interesting.
yeah. But yeah, there were so many of those. Like the last one I'll call out is towards the very, very end when Jimmy and Henry meet at the restaurant
Mhm.
to, I don't know, I can't remember what they're going to talk about, but Jimmy puts on these glasses that are like Coke bottles and they magnify his eyeballs. So they're huge. And like, so
I had
you,
a
you
comment on
have,
Jimmy's glasses later. I was like, "Those,"
yeah,
I'm like, "What is
but
going on?"
so, like, this whole especially the back half of the movie, like we talked
Yeah,
about, Jimmy is a monster.
he is.
He is a murderous psycho, right? And then, Henry's like you can tell Henry's nervous. He doesn't know if this is a trap. He's talking about how I got there early, but Jimmy got there before me, and he sat in a specific seat so he could overlook the parking lot. So, like, you have this picture of like a predator, and then he
Mhm.
pulls out these glasses that magnify his eyeballs and just make him look so goofy and
Yeah.
corny.
So I had it in
But
nitpicks. I
yeah.
had it in nitpicks because those glasses obviously are very corrective, you know? Like, they're very corrective. And I'm
Yeah.
like, the whole rest of the time he's killing people, he's shooting people without those glasses on. I'm like, is he blind and he's just going around doing things blind? Like,
Yeah.
he's just like, "I like to be
It's a
taken
good
seriously," so, I'm like like, how are you functioning? Clearly, you
yeah.
have very bad eyesight.
It's so funny to me because, like, here's the other thing too. I don't know what's in the book. I don't know if Jimmy has bad
Sure.
eyesight in the book, but that feels like such an intentional choice. You didn't need to have him wear glasses. You didn't need if he did have to wear glasses, you didn't need to have him wear those Coke bottles, but for some reason, he put it in there. It just made me laugh. It, like,
Yeah, they're funny, it
not
was
laugh
funny.
out loud, but it's just like it's a little giggle, and it's funny.
But, so I had aged the best the F word in this movie because I
Yeah.
think it did like, you become, like, numb to it as the movie goes
Yeah.
on. I think I looked it up, it's like 320 F words. It's not as
Yeah.
many, so Scorsese holds the record for the most number of F words in a movie, and it
It's
it
Wolf of Wall Street, right?
Yeah, Wolf of Wall Street, right? Because I'm like, "Does this movie rival Wolf of Wall Street?" And it's, like,
Yeah.
number 30 of all time number of F words in a movie. I looked up, like I was like, "I wanna see who has the most." But I'm like,
Yeah.
"God, there's a lot of F bombs." But I'm like, it really sells their world, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, it
That's why I had
does. I mean,
I
it's
had the F-bomb aged the best.
yeah, it definitely it's an adult movie for sure. Don't let your kids watch it.
Alright, any other age the best for you?
Um, I feel like we kinda talked about it, but just like the drama and like the intensity of some scenes, I feel like
Yeah.
he does it so well. Like you can sit here and analyze so many from the what's so funny or why am I so funny to the whole scene with Billy and Tommy at the bar. So many scenes. It's like you have this escalating tension and you
Mhm.
don't know where it's gonna go. You don't know if it's gonna fizzle out, if it's gonna erupt or what, but he does such a good job at
Yeah,
building.
Scorsese does. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm like, age the best. Movies, they're great.
Yeah.
I think,
Yeah.
like, mom movies, I think, yeah, the acting in this movie,
Mm,
it just works. All of it works. It's really good. Alright,
yeah.
age the worst.
I didn't have a lot. What did you have?
Um, okay, so I don't know if this is age the worst, but dinner in a movie, or not dinner in a movie, dinner in a show. Like, they go to a lot of dinner in a shows,
Oh,
and
yeah. Yeah,
I just I have no desire to do that. We had a place called Cabaret in Cincinnati, right? Oh no, it's not in Cincinnati. It's here. It's in Nashville.
yeah.
It's
Mm,
called Cabaret or something like that, and it's a dinner and
no.
a movie show. And I asked my wife, I'm like, "Would you want to go to that?" She's like, "No," and I'm like, "I agree. Why would I have a little light on my table? A waiter come by, and there's a." I'm like, I'd rather go see a performance and then go
Yeah.
have dinner. Or, I was like, I just dinner and a show, not for me.
Yeah.
Um, there was a few slurs in this. There's a bunch of slurs in this movie.
Yeah, I did hear a
Yeah,
few of those.
yeah, so
Yeah.
they hit you hard, but also I think it's appropriate for the movie. But
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
never good hearing those words.
No.
Speaking of the dinners in the show, the comedian, the first time he takes Karen on a date, that comedian who's doing his little stand up routine.
Mm.
I don't know if he stood out to you at all. It was
I
some of the
don't I
worst
don't
stand up
even
routines in the world. I was like, this is not funny at all. I don't know if it's supposed to be. I looked the guy up. He's a famous comedian. He's known for like one liners, and this was like
Huh.
real stuff from his bit. And I'm like, just 70s was a
Huh.
different time, 80s
I
were a
didn't
different
even
time in stand up.
yeah. I didn't
Yeah.
even I didn't catch that. I'll have to go back and try to watch that.
It was when he's like when the long track scene where Karen and him go through the back door and they go through the kitchen and
Yeah.
everything and they're putting the table there. Honestly, the logistics of that scene is a nitpick. I'm like, I don't know how the waiters are doing stuff so quickly and bringing things over, but whatever.
Yeah.
But it looks cool. It's a one shot, right? So, and then the comedian starts talking. Funny thing about that comedian, I forget the comedian's name, but he was known for like the one liners and he really was a real
Mm.
comedian. I don't, again, my only exposure to him in this movie, and I was like, God, that would just be some of the worst stand up I've ever seen in my entire life. But I guess he was so nervous and so bad at
Mm.
like trying to read his dialogue that they made them do that scene like 8 times because he could not get his lines right.
Oh, whoa.
Again, just
Huh.
another knock on this guy. I don't even know his name. It's not,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
and then yeah, there's a few other times like the whole like again they're all supposed it's supposed to be in the movie, but like the white where the woman says that she could see why a white girl would go for Sammy Davis Jr. and
Mm.
then Pesci unloads on her like he does on any other scene. I should say Tommy
Mhm.
unloads on her, not Joe Pesci, but Tommy. Um,
Mhm.
it's just another scene that's like that's a tough watch.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
but no, other than that, I mean, I think the movie it's a period piece and a mob
Yeah.
movies work, and I don't know, I think it stands test time.
Yeah, yeah. I didn't really have a lot. I had one tiny, tiny little thing. Like just some of the practical effects I feel like they don't age well, particularly uh when Henry finds out that Karen's neighbor, I don't remember if like he grabbed her or pulled her out of the
Oh, yeah,
car,
kinda, like, tried to
whatever.
force himself on her, and then she went out of the car or whatever, and he
Yeah,
beats the
but
crap out of him with a gun.
yeah, but, like, like, the whole thing, because it's in, probably shot in the late '80s. I mean, I don't know, some of those punches, it just clearly looked fake, like, it looked
Yeah.
like his hand was a foot
No,
away from the
nowadays, right,
dude's
they would've made,
face.
like, a lot of camera movement, and they would've cut a bunch of times to, like,
Yeah,
hide all of the choreography, where they're just, like,
exactly.
pointing the camera and doing it?
Yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
and just some of that stuff, but, I mean, even then, it wasn't really that bad, like, that opening scene where they are, like, stabbing and killing Billy, is like, at that, I was like, "Oh, shit, this is this is kinda gross, and this is really dark."
When he's like, he's like Just a couple
Yeah,
stabs, and then De Niro
because
shoots him with the gun a few times. You're like, Jesus. So
so many
apparently,
of
when they screened that movie, like people within the first 10 minutes, people were walking out because they were so like
yeah.
it was so
Well,
tough to watch.
the camera does not look away on some of
Mm-mm.
these, scenes, like, some of the violence is really in your face,
It
and
is.
yeah, but anyway, some of the practical effects, I don't know, some of them didn't they probably just they don't look as good
Yeah,
today as they probably did
1990.
back then.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
All right, you want to talk about WTF? Are they talking about?
Damn it. I feel like I've really been maybe I just need to start watching with subtitles, but I feel like this is like the 3rd one in a row that I've
I only had two. So
what did you have? 'Cause,
okay,
let me see if
he
I even caught it.
um Karen, when she's one of the times she's yelling and fighting with Henry Hill, she says, like, "Why don't you go back to your ready-made whores?" I don't know what ready-made means in that, like,
Hmm,
what that necessarily means, like, I'm not quite sure what the context of that is, and then,
hmm,
I think it just means, like, like, all the baggage that comes with being a mother and a wife and having a family, like, you go back to your ready-made, like, easy,
yeah,
easy,
yeah,
whatever, like, I think that's what it means, but,
yeah,
and then the other one, like, I think it's De Niro that says this, but he says to Karen that she's a the oh, no, what it is, it's at the end of the movie when they're talking with the FBI agent and they're talking about their witness protection program,
mhm,
um, the agent says, the b "Don't give me that babe in the woods routine."
mhm,
Babe
like
of the
innocent,
woods, like Babe of the
like you
Woods,
didn't
yeah.
know. Yeah.
But I was like, Babe of the Woods, and apparently that scene, really interesting, I thought, was the actor who plays the FBI agent is the
Mhm.
real FBI agent who had that real
Oh,
life scene with the real Henry Hill. Like, he's just the
that's
guy.
really cool.
Yeah.
I really like that scene because he was just kinda like, I don't know, no, like, he was not looking to give
He's
any
like, "I'm
big
not your
handouts,
friends."
like yeah, like, "This is what it is," and he tells Karen, like, "I don't need you, I need him."
Yeah, and
Like,
then the
he's
very last line of the movie is you look like it's like, "I look like a schnook," with a
mm,
SHNOOCK, and I've heard, like,
yeah,
schmuck, right, but I never heard of
yeah,
schnook, and it is
yeah,
also Yiddish, and it just means, like, square,
mm,
like a guy who's never gonna get it up to anything interesting kinda thing, but,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
so those are the few I had, Babe of the Woods routine, ready-made whores, and look like a schnook, the last line of the movie.
Yeah. I don't know, maybe I need to start getting distracted and turning on the subtitles because I feel like I didn't catch any of
Well,
those.
I was talking, with Carly about this, my wife, because she was, I was like, "We've done this will be our 4th '90s movie in a row."
Mm,
So we did, LA Confidential, we did Troopers, we
mhm.
did, this movie, and,
Rain
what
Man, right?
Rain Man's '88.
Oh,
Or maybe it's next week we're also doing a '90s movie. I don't remember exactly. I think it's next week we're also doing a '90s movie. But I'm like, we're doing like 4 '90s movies in a row. And I'm like, well, this is not
yeah.
really maybe capturing the old classics that we had talked about doing. So
Yeah.
this makes this what are they talking about thing harder because it's obviously,
Mm,
has a lot more context for today.
yeah. Yeah, yeah, I agree.
Okay, let's go to the sequel. Sequel to this movie.
Yeah,
Obviously
Henry
Joe Pesci's not in it, obviously.
yeah, Henry sets up, a crack route in the suburbs. I don't know, like, I feel like the sequel the sequel would be tough for this one.
Yeah, I do wonder if it would be like, yeah, he just can't help but not go back to his old ways, right? He talks about how like the life that he's living now is so horrible and mundane, like he just needs that. Like
Mhm.
he's gonna go back to his old ways. Plus, on the other side of this, he's now got an entire mob that's like, we're gonna kill this guy, right? So maybe
Yeah.
it's about like him like can't help this more self-destructive think piece about a man who just can't even like
Yeah.
even when he gets out and sets himself up to be I don't know, in a safe space, he's just so self-destructive. Kind of I was thinking
Mhm.
like the intensity of a movie like Uncut Gems
Yeah.
with Adam Sandler, like, just this
Mhm.
self-destructive man who just can't I do not like Uncut Gems because it is so, like, uneasy, but I could see, like, this uneasy, paranoid person who's just self-destructive living in the suburbs
Yeah.
like, a kind of a sequel to this, kinda like a the feeling of Uncut Gems or something like that, was
Let's
my thought.
let's let's push Ray Liotta to his absolute acting limit. Other opinion on a prequel sequel would
Okay.
be to show how Jimmy became a legend before 30, because then
Yeah.
you get more of Robert De Niro, which feels like he should be in a leading role in this in some capacity,
Yeah, you can shoot it
but
now and just de-age him, you know?
yeah, exactly, just
That's what
like
we
The
do
Irishman.
nowadays.
Yeah, I mean, he's fine. He's
Yeah,
80,
A
whatever he
Jimmy
is.
prequel would be cool too, I think.
'Cause I mean, I was curious, like, when Hank or when Henry meets him for the first time, and he's like, "This Jimmy, he was a legend at, like, 29," or whatever he said, right?
Mhm.
Like, how did he become a legend other than just stealing things? But it seems like there could be a fun story there.
Yeah, yeah, I agree, okay. So we
Yeah.
got just a self-destructive think piece or,
Or a
or
fun or
or
a
a
fun
f
stick 'em up heist.
yeah, fun heist movie.
Yeah.
There you go. Alright, let's go to nitpicks and our hot takes.
You wanna kick it off? I bet you
Yeah,
got a
this one
bunch,
I
don't you?
felt was hard. This movie's really tight. One, it's real life, so, like,
Mhm.
it's not too crazy.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I had, like, when they're talking the scene when they were flushing the she flushes the cocaine down the toilet when the cops are at their house, and then he
Mhm.
he comes back and she's like, "I was 60 grand, Karen," and she's like, "Oh," whatever. I was
Yeah.
just sinking in that scene. I'm like, this is just my not even even a hot take, but my thought was, "This is why you have a 401k." This is why
Yeah.
you do.
Yeah.
You go to your stable, boring job, you have 401k because I'm not on the ground flushing cocaine down the toilet,
It's
crying,
I think
and going to prison.
I think that scene truly embodies rock bottom.
It does.
When they're both, like, boo-hooing on the floor, and he says that's all we had left was that cocaine that you flushed down the toilet,
Mhm.
that's I don't know if you can get lower than that. That's all there is.
Yeah, so that I don't know if that's like a hot take or anything, but I'm like, God,
Yeah.
my hot take is this life seems terrible, and I'm glad I have a 401k
Yeah.
because
Maybe
this,
those maybe those suburbs ain't too bad, huh?
yeah, no, right? And then the scene where Jimmy gets or Tommy gets shot, right? When he's about to be, they're like, we're gonna make you. You're gonna become a
Mm.
made man. They go do that ceremony, or they're going to a ceremony to do it. And he goes in the room, it's empty, and he's like, "Oh no!" And he just, you know, bullet to
Yeah.
the head.
Yeah.
What? I did look it up, but like, this is more not a really a hot take, but like a question that wasn't like answered. Like I'm like a very curious like question. What is a being made ceremony like? Like it looked like a secret society thing, like they're the way they're
Mm.
talking about it. I'm like, are they gonna show up in robes and like,
Yeah. Yeah.
carrying incense? I have no idea. I'm like, I don't know what he's expecting to walk into, but there's like no one at this house.
Mhm.
And, he walks into the room, obviously he gets he's just there to get killed, but I'm like, I wonder what a being maybe you go, what does a being made ceremony actually look like for the mob?
That's a good question. Maybe
You
you
know?
should see if any of your Italian relatives can tell you. I'm sure they know.
So I did look it up. So there is like like a ceremony piece to it and everything, and like they do like have oaths and there's a blood sharing and like it's a
Oh,
little it
wow.
is more uh they have to hold like a burning matchbook or something and like pass it around and he has to like I don't know, like, get everyone's blessing before they get burned or something like that. It was more ritualistic than I was expecting,
Huh.
which I think is really interesting for a mob movie, like The Mob.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's which apparently comes from Italy, like, back from, like, the 1880s or something like that,
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
whole concept, and it's just much more real ritualistic than I've ever seen in a mob movie, and I'm like, I actually would have really liked to have seen it. I think it would have been
Yeah.
an interesting scene. Maybe have Billy Bats get made at the beginning of the movie or something so you could
Mm.
see it, and then that way when Tommy's about to get made, you're like, "Oh, yeah, I know what this is. I know what this expectation is." And it's like a really cool part of mob culture that I've really never seen displayed in pop
Yeah.
culture. But yeah,
Yeah,
that was
yeah,
it made
it's
me
a good
wonder that.
point. Yeah.
All right,
So
what about you?
I also had Tommy's death scene on here in
Mhm.
a different fashion, really just because Tommy was such a huge problem and he caused everybody else problems the
Sure.
entirety of the movie. I just thought his death was so quick. It really was. It was like blink and you kinda miss it, and it felt I don't know, not like I wanna see him, like, get tortured or anything, like, I don't not that I want it drawn out, but it felt like Tommy was such a huge burden and he was the cause of so much
Mhm.
just bad things, and then it just, like, blink and boop, Tommy's gone, let's move on.
Yeah.
It felt like his death was I don't know,
Yeah,
I
it
think I
was
just
sold more in
wanted
Robert De Niro's performance than it was in anything else, right? Like,
Yeah.
'cause
Yeah.
it is, it's like it's almost like, yeah, it's business for them, like, they're just doing business.
Yeah.
"You killed the maid man, we gotta do this now, this is what we do, okay?"
Mhm.
Kinda thing.
No.
Um, yeah,
But yeah, I don't know. I mean, like but again, like it's you already have like and my other hot take is kind of in similar lines. I mean, you already have a 2.5 hour long movie. I don't really know like what else you would want to add in there, but um so my other hot take is the whole Lufthansa heist. So they
Mhm.
this whole heist feels pretty pivotal, right? I mean, they talk about it, they plan on it, they discuss it, but I mean, it's this thing nets them 6 million in cash and jewels. I mean, it's a pretty big fucking deal. But we don't get to see anything.
Yeah,
It's just we get to hear them planning it, and then we at the end, when it's done, they celebrate because it was a success. And
success, yeah.
I recognize that I don't even know if Jimmy and Henry and Tommy were directly involved in the heist, like, they are
Yeah,
carrying it
I
out.
think Jimmy was, but
Yeah,
Henry was not, other than, like, doing yeah.
yeah, but you have this whole big thing because it feels like we don't I don't know, you get to see a lot of the mob's inner workings, but them actually, like, pulling off crimes, you don't really ever get to see that in this
Yeah, you
movie a
see
whole
them, like,
lot. You
pull a couple trucks out and everything, that's about it,
Yeah, they
yeah.
steal a few trucks and, this or that, but this
Mhm.
feels it felt like a very big crime that was really pivotal for them, and we just hear about it in passing, and we hear that it was successful.
Mhm.
Um, but same thing as my last point, it's already a 2.5 hour long movie. I don't know, like, how you
Yeah, and
would
it's
squeeze that in there, but
I think the direction choice, not having it in there, is it's Henry Hill's perspective, the movie,
Mhm,
and he's not part of the heist. He only gets to see the celebration and the
mhm,
kind of the planning. I don't know. I agree with you though. It's
yeah,
kinda like, yeah, it's a missing piece that you wish you would have been privy to.
yeah,
Alright.
yeah. It just yeah. Anyway, that's really my only hot takes
Yeah,
is
I
just I
think
wanted to
the movie's very cleanly written, I think, really well
Mhm.
written. It's a real life person, so you can't, like, even critique, like, I don't know, some of the choices he makes because, like, for the most part, he really made them, so
Yeah,
they're just following that. So, I
yeah,
had one section I wanted to add to this that I thought would be fun because
mhm.
I didn't have that many hot takes, nitpicks. I really don't have any hot takes, and my nitpicks and hot takes were like, I don't know, maybe this is what made me think about, which is not really a hot take nitpick. So what I
Yeah,
wanted to do, I thought would be fun. This movie has a lot of advice in it that their
mm,
characters are giving each other, and I thought we could get some of it together here and go through good advice or bad advice
okay, yeah,
on these advice. All right.
yeah,
Okay. So first piece I had: never rat on your friends and keep your mouth shut, is a piece
mhm,
of advice that that Jimmy gives Henry.
yeah,
Good or bad advice?
I would say good advice.
Yeah.
I don't know when I don't know. I mean, sorry, Jimmy, god, the
I
names,
know.
they
The
confuse me
Jimmy,
too.
Timmy, Petey, Polly, yeah.
I mean, like, when you look at Henry's case, I don't know, can you get to a point in life where you rat on your closest friends and family members? I don't know.
Yeah.
That's you gotta be pretty
I
bad.
yeah. No, I think it's good. I think that one's not bad advice. Of all the
No.
advice given in this movie, you're like, "All right, keep your head down, right? Don't talk out of turn."
Yeah.
Be loyal to your friends. The stuff I would tell my kids. Maybe not in this, I wouldn't say maybe don't be a rat and keep your mouth shut, but I
Don't be
think
tell Oh, you're saying that on his first day of kindergarten. Don't be a rat.
so. All right, business advice.
Mm.
This is when they're talking about the restaurant. So when there's nothing left, you bust the joint and you light a match. Is that good?
Oh, great advice.
Great advice. Just insurance fraud.
Yeah, exactly. No, terrible advice. Good advice if you do illegal activity. Bad
Yeah.
advice if you're literally everybody else.
No, that's not how you run your business. You know what I mean? Okay. Okay. So when uh Jimmy is beating up Maury about getting money from him,
Oh,
and
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and Henry tells Maury, "Just give him the money and we'll be on our way." I think that's good advice, right? If
In that
someone
to Jimmy directly, specifically, yes, great advice. Give him the money.
stand on your principles until, if this gets really bad news, it's just like, we give
Yeah.
him.
Yeah, I would agree.
All right, how about this? Made guys are untouchable. Is that good advice or bad advice?
Mm.
I feel like it came, to bite to
It
bite
came to bite
Tommy.
Tommy, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, that's tough. It depends on what the maid guy I don't know, it depends on the context, we'll put it
Yeah.
that way. Yeah.
All right. After a robbery, don't buy anything. Is that good advice or
Oh,
bad advice?
great
Yeah,
advice.
if
Yeah,
you're gonna rob,
absolutely. That is
don't go.
that whole bar scene, the Chris was I think it's Christmas, and
Yeah.
Jimmy just gets more and more angry every time they walk in with new shit. It's really funny.
All right, last one. Last piece of advice. Fridays are for the wives, Saturdays are for the girlfriends. So good.
Oh god. Oh, terrible advice. It's so bad. It's kind
Uh,
of funny to think that, like, yeah, there's I don't know, that is actual legit, advice that people live their lives by. I
I know,
mean,
right? Like,
that's pretty
no,
oh,
not good. Not good.
not good advice.
Yeah, so that was that was the advice I
Yeah,
wrote down as we were going through this movie. I was like,
that was really fun, yeah, I like it. Good advice, bad advice.
All right. So now we're at the end of the show. Ready? You want to rate this movie? What do you think? Should it be a classic?
Yes. I absolutely think it deserves all of the accolades. I think it deserves all the praise. It was really good. I really enjoyed it. And I don't watch a lot of mob movies and I was thoroughly entertained by it. Yeah, I feel like it's a classic in my book for sure. Like
Yeah.
if you haven't seen it, you gotta check it out at
Yeah,
least
it's a
once.
fun one I think it's a fun one to check out. I don't know. See, like my problem with this movie is I compare it too much to The Godfather. And you haven't seen The Godfather yet. And so I'd be really
Mhm.
curious when we watch it how you feel about that movie versus this movie. Now they're like
Yeah.
separated by 20 years. Yeah, Godfather's like 1970, I think.
Yeah.
Or mid 70s, somewhere around there. Where this movie is 1990. But it's I don't know, the Godfather is it's so good. It's so strong. The characters are so strong in it. And the story it tells about the mob and mob life and what it was like in the 50s and 40s and um in that time period, Rat Pack kind of mob time period. It it treads a lot of ground that this movie covers too. And this one's from a different angle. Like this is from like a grunt
Mm.
in the machine where the Godfather is about the family that runs the mob, so it's like it would be like Paulie's family is the main characters.
Yeah.
Um, so they do cover different angles, but, like, when you compare the 2, in my mind, and this is not everyone's mind, because like, even Roger Ebert said, like, this was better than The Godfather. He thought this, like, usurped it, in at least in his
Mm.
review, he said that.
Mm.
But, like, if there's only one good gangster classic, it's not this movie for me.
Mm.
And honestly, I just there's something about the way Scorsese shoots movies that just makes me feel a little it feels a little even though it's really well done, it's like it feels very technical. Like he's a very
Mm.
technical filmmaker. I don't know.
Mhm.
So for me, I'm like, it's a no. It's not a classic for me.
Mhm.
I think it's really good. It's a fun movie, and I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
But it just to me, it lives in the shadow of The Godfather.
Mm. I will be curious to see, like, after we watch The Godfather, we'll have to do a comparison
Yeah, I
because
might be overhyping The Godfather, but like,
I don't think you are. It's hailed as, like, the best mob movie, one of the best movies ever made. I feel like if you are a if you are a male on the planet Earth, there's a 90% chance that you think The Godfather is the best movie ever made.
So
I feel like that's just the short and skinny of it.
it's Carly's favorite movie ever.
That's pretty shocking. I didn't know
Yeah.
that.
It's like this and, like, I don't know, what's that stupid Sarah Michelle Gellar movie, uh, Cruel Intentions, she loves that movie too, and I'm like, "Ugh," um but she loves The Godfather. It's like her I think yeah, I think her top 3 are, like, Godfather. She loves Lord of the Rings just like you. She loves Fellowship.
Mhm.
Like, Cruel Intentions, but I think that's more of a nostalgic pick for her than it is it's kinda like us with Starship Troopers. It's more of a nostalgia pick than, like, a
Yeah,
legitimate, masterpiece of cinema.
sure.
But yeah, she loves it, and so I don't know. Yeah, anyways,
Yeah,
so, not a classic for me, classic for you, but it is very good. I don't wanna discredit, like, how good it is.
yeah.
Um,
Maybe we'll do our, after we watch The Godfather, we'll do our 5 years in reverse. Did it deserve to be a classic compared to The
mhm.
Godfather?
Well, and, like, it's also, like, not fair because like, they both can be. And
Yeah,
I just can't get past it, you know what I mean? Like, I can't get past my, like, kind of the coldness of the technicalness of Scorsese's filmmaking that does
mhm,
sometimes distract me.
mhm,
And because his characters are not like I don't know, you can't there's like a barrier between me and really connecting with the characters in his movies. There's always like some
mhm,
sort of barrier there that is like the way it's shot and the technicalness of it. I don't know why. I don't know how else to describe it. And it's always prevents me from clicking with his characters. Where you watch a movie like cuz even um Quentin Tarantino is a very technical filmmaker, but he
yeah,
doesn't let the characters, like, get away from you sometimes, I feel like, in his movies, like, you can connect with his characters, and I personally don't in a Scorsese movie, which is why I've never really cared I never really get that hyped for a Scorsese movie because of that, like, I've always feel like there's some sort of barrier
mhm,
that prevents me from I'm just very aware I'm watching a movie when I watch his movies.
yeah,
I don't get lost in the movies, and so, I don't know,
yeah,
that's what's preventing it from me. The Shadow of the Godfather 2, which is, like, probably not fair, but also prevents it for me. Um,
mhm,
yeah, I don't know. I'm, like, dogging on the movie after I just was, like, saying, "It's a really good movie. It's really good. You should go watch it. It's a fun movie. If you haven't seen it, it's a good time." It's hyper violent. It says a
yeah,
lot of F words, and
mhm,
it's not for everyone, but if you want to, like, have a cinematic experience, it's a great movie to go watch, for sure.
yeah, absolutely.
Any other final thoughts after I just totally dogged on it?
No,
Defend it.
no, I think no, I'm not yeah, this was I label it a classic because I mean, this is a guy who just has barely watched any mob movies. So I'm not really, able to throw it up on the board against something else because I know there's a billion mob movies that are probably all really good, but it was entertaining and I think that's why it hits that mark for me. But yeah, I do think if you have not seen it, which I don't know, unless you're a weirdo like me who hasn't seen it, and it's been out for
It's
how
an,
long now?
I don't
30,
know. I don't
37
think it's
years?
yeah, The Godfather, I think is weird. You're weird. But, um, this movie, there is like this is a hard, hard R, and so I see why some people would not be attracted to seeing this movie. I think it's probably not as or The Godfather is an R, but it's not hard R, and
Mm,
it's much more approachable for, like, an audience, a mass
mhm,
it's why I think this movie didn't make that much money at the box office. Like, I just think it's a it's a brutal watch, which a lot of Scorsese movies are. They're brutal. Taxi Driver,
yeah,
brutal.
mm,
Um, like, they're tough watches because these characters are he's very grounded in, like, the harshness of whatever the reality that he is displaying, and, like, even, like, Wolf of Wall Street, like, it's a tough watch if you're not, comfortable. If you want comfort, it's not a Scorsese movie, you know what I mean?
no,
So,
definitely not. Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. Alright, well, cool. Any other final thoughts?
No, no. Nothing for me.
All right. Well, come check us out. We have a YouTube channel. It's called Popcorn and Pals Pod, and we just put up some shorts and some, the podcast itself. We also have an email address, so if you want to contact us and tell everyone how I'm so wrong about the about Goodfellas not being a classic. It's not for me, okay? All right? I get why people would like it, but, you please email me, tell me how wrong I am. I'm totally up for that. Or if you wanna make any recommendations on movies we should watch, our email address is popcornandpals, all spelled out, all lowercase, at gmail.com. And in the meantime, well, everyone, thank you for listening, and keep popping that popcorn.
Bye.